Hello, I'm going to talk a little bit today about 3 Google add-ons that I am going to be implementing into my classroom. The first one is called Flubaroo. Flubaroo is great for any teacher who wants more automaticity when grading assignments, using quizzes through Google Forms. So I created a Google quiz. It's in Google Forms, and this is what the quiz looks like. And just as an example, I sent it to myself so that I could fill out some of the responses. So once the responses were gathered, it puts it into an Excel sheet that looks like this. And it gives a timestamp and how they answered the 2 questions. So I'm going to go up to add-ons and I'm going to say that I want this assignment graded. When you look at this, it gives you a bunch of different options, and it shows you can do different scores. You can actually grade a question by hand. You can skip grading if you find that a lot of students have missed a question. And I'm going to press continue. And then it's going to show me that individual student scores. And what's great about this is it still gives you more options. If I go back up here to Flubaroo, I can edit student feedback, and I can actually type in here, "Great job. I noticed you had trouble on question number 2. And then this is feedback that it's going to send to the student. If I go back up here to Flubaroo, I can actually say share grades. Once I say share grades, it's going to give me some options on how I want to share it with the student. So another Google add-on that I looked at was crop sheet. So here's an example of some data in a Google Excel chart. And I'm going to hit add-ons and hit crop sheet. And what crop sheet is great for is it eliminates all of these extra cells so that all you have to focus on is your data. And it makes all of this gray, which I love, because sometimes I can find that really distracting. So I'm going to say crop to data. And it eliminates all of those extra cells, which I think is great, especially when you're working with a lot of different data points. And it will be good for students to eliminate. Next, I want to show you a translator add-on. So this is a unit that my students are working on in their Spanish class. They're learning some new Spanish verbs. And if they needed to type up some Spanish verbs, they could actually translate it from English to Spanish or Spanish to English. So I've typed up some Spanish verbs, and I'm going to highlight them, and I'm going to click add-on. And then when I go to translate, I can just say start. And now it gives me an option over here. I'm going to hit it's going from Spanish to English. And I want to double check that all of these verbs are correct. And yes, they are. They're the exact ones that I wanted to see. So this could be really helpful for any type of student, especially if they were translating maybe a paper that they were writing or something a little more complicated than just a list.